What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another tropical forecast here by Asian Weather Forecast. We actually have a major tropical forecast here for all of the northern Atlantic as we may be nearing August's peak for activity here. We actually have two disturbances here that actually have a very good chance of forming. Not only that, we may have our third disturbance up there off the coast of North Carolina. We have two MDR disturbances and one off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia. So we may have Laura, Marco, and Nana possibly by the end of the next 10 days. So really monitoring this extremely closely here as we can very well see a huge increase in activity here. Shear will be dying down, moisture will be blowing up. We will have a completely different Atlantic here. So really monitoring extremely closely. Models are actually agreeing a lot on these disturbances developing. So honestly, guys, it seems like the chances for the developing will increase and increase and increase every single National Hurricane Center update. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button, and also hit the post notification icon so you get notified as soon as I do a video to show your awesome support. Without further ado, let's get into this tropical forecast. Here's a look now at the National Hurricane Center, and as you see here, we have these two disturbances here. This is actually, I believe, the 11 a.m. update here. I do expect us to have a disturbance here off North Carolina and right here. I actually believe that will actually be higher than all of these, actually be a high risk for development. Every single global model shows Kyle 2.0 forming, so that will be Laura, possibly off the coast right here of the Chesapeake Bay, and possibly going to form right here off the northeastern coast. And I know it's not there, but it may or may not form within the next 24 hours, which is why I'm so shocked the National Hurricane Center does not have this. But here we have the two disturbances here. Finally, about time the National Hurricane Center highlights that system off the coast of Africa, that disturbance there, and it is actually at a 30% chance for development within the next 5 days. I believe that definitely will increase. And then we have another disturbance in front of this and actually in the middle of the MDR, main developed region, that's also at a 30% chance for development as well. So we have two 30% chance development. Tropical depression Josephine has now weakened here, or Josephine has now weakened to a tropical depression, but do not rule it out. Trust me, I will explain at the end of the video. I will talk about Josephine at the end of the video. So I want to explain myself that Josephine may or may not actually not be done yet. I think Josephine has another shot to relive itself after it gets out of the unfavorable conditions. Because after that, we'll have perfect conditions around Bermuda. We will have no shear. It will have a moisture bubble based on the GFS. And also, we have 30 degrees Celsius waters. And then Kyle has become post-tropical. So really, we're going to see some possibly huge activity. We have possibly a chance for two named storms here. Maybe Josephine can make its way back to tropical storm force winds. And we very well still will have another disturbance here off the coast of the U.S. So really getting activity here for August, and we have yet to reach the real peak of the hurricane season, which is September 10th to September 11th. So really crazy here, but we are definitely be seeing throughout the next 7 days a huge increase in activity and a lot more favorable of an Atlantic. So here's a look now at the satellite imagery here for all of the Atlantic here. And as you see, here's that one disturbance off the coast of Africa, really blowing up into convection now. That other disturbance there in the MDR, and then we have possibly that other system right there off the coast of North Carolina. We have three areas to really watch, and then that's Josephine. Definitely starting to fall apart, obviously, but look at all of these areas here in the Atlantic here. Really big concern for that one actually in the MDR, because it's actually going to be heading some very favorable conditions here in the southern and western Caribbean. We actually have a lot of potential tropical activity or heat storage there, a lot of potential energy that's held there, so that could be a potential area to focus. Also, that convection is really blowing up off the coast of Africa. It really is. So that is possibly improvement. And then we have a big blob right here of convection in the Outer Banks. That's where we're watching for maybe another invest. And then Josephine expected to weaken a good bit more, and then maybe nobody else is really saying this, but I think this could possibly regain, possibly could maybe regain strength here. But here is what we're really watching for. Look at all those areas really quickly. Look at all of that. This is only August, guys. So really October, September, definitely something to really be really not scared of, but really a big concern what September and October will bring in. So here's looking now closely at the actually system off the coast of Africa. Look at the convection really blowing up here. It's actually trying to find a new center, which is going to be right there. Actually, that was actually the word circle. Right there is where it's trying to get its new center. So that's that. We definitely have a lot of moisture coming in from the tropical wave. It does look a lot worse compared to yesterday. Let me tell you that. It looks a lot worse, but it's making improvement here. That's really the only thing we can really say. It's awesome now zoom in here at the system here. And the Atlantic here, or they are both in the Atlantic actually. I'm so big brain, but the one off the coast of the U.S. right here, that big blob of convection. And it looks nothing like that could be tropical, but we are seeing some decent amount of convection there that really I'm watching out. GFS, Euro, CMC, Icon, all those global models show this possibly forming here. I think we can definitely see a disturbance right here. This could definitely be another disturbance, and I think this could be at a higher risk when it becomes a disturbance, not like a lower medium. I think this could be a high, maybe 70% chance, 80% chance. I know that sounds really crazy, but this system could form in the next 24 hours based on the models. And it's not just one, it's also like almost all the models. And as you see there, we got Josephine trying to blow up. It's a really fighting storm. Let me tell you that, but I think the Dryer and Shear would definitely get the Josephine, but it's only a little region right here. We have the unfavorable conditions. Once again, this little area, it's really favorable. It could be go time. Josephine has been proving herself to be a very fighting storm. I think it has one last battle to win, and then it could become a tropical storm once again. So, really watching that very closely here. Let's take a look at the SSTs here. So, we're going to check out the conditions across all the northern Atlantic for all these potential systems. So, obviously, here we have that one off the coast of Africa, has 27 degrees Celsius. Possibly 27.5. In order to withstand a tropical storm, you need within a hurricane, you need 26 degrees Celsius. I think a tropical depression is like 24. So I think these waters are definitely not the warmest, but they are able to withstand a tropical storm at the minimum. And then also really watching out for that MDR. This is obviously an MDR storm. It's right off the coast of Africa, but right here, the other MDR storm. That one, I think that one actually has a better chance for development in my opinion, because there's gonna be way less dry air. We're gonna have a huge blow up of moisture here. The reason why the Eastern Pacific's blowing up is because that moisture, and that moisture off South America is actually gonna move a lot more to the north now. So that's gonna really moisturize the Western Atlantic. If it's right here, it just has a little bit of time to go, and it's in favorable conditions. It could be go time. So I think that chance for a 30% chance will definitely increase today for both disturbances, but I think mainly this one. 29 degrees Celsius there, 28 degrees Celsius where it's over right now, and could be heading some really warmer waters here. 32 degrees Celsius, guys, for the Central Gulf. We have 32 degrees Celsius off the coast of Florida, 32 degrees Celsius off the coast of Cuba, and 32 degrees Celsius in the northern Gulf. So if this thing's going to have to go in the Gulf, it's going to have to go through some really warm water. So that's a big concern right here as well. The system off the coast, North Carolina, it will be going some cooler waters, 24 degrees Celsius, 26. If it goes, the more further out to sea it is, the better. So we're gonna want it to stay here. So it does have a chance to be a short-lived tropical storm. It could be like Kyle. It could be very short-lived and then become post-tropical very soon. So I think this will be almost like Kyle 2.0, almost like a twin. And then obviously we're watching here, possibly where this storm can go. Actually, that's like the worst area. Possibly this storm can go somewhere, something like that. We're really watching out for a long-track storm here. So either way, this thing will be heading to warmer waters once it gets near the Lesser Antilles. But really, this MDR region is starting to really warm up a good bit. Only thing is that it's a dry air really that might get to it. Really monitoring that very closely. But models are really showing this here. So, concerns to really watch out for whether this could be another long track system here. We actually have one. Then we got two. Then we have maybe Josephine can maybe come back. Let me actually do a little question mark. Maybe can come back. And then possibly this question mark. I think that's not even a question mark. I think it should be an exclamation point because it should happen. But yeah, these are waters. Let's check out all the other conditions here. All right, dry air for sure is that main threat here for especially the system off the coast of Africa. right here. There it is, a big blob. I think that's very well organized, or sorry, not invest system here, or disturbance, you could say. I see mainly all that dryer is really to the north here, and then we have this other system here in the MDR. I believe it's right here, that very small cloud cover there. That's it as well. So these both systems are out of the dry air. We also have that cloud cover off the coast of North Carolina. No dryer really expected to affect it. So really these two systems, whether two disturbances, not systems, whether maybe they can get affected by obviously Josephine's in the middle of this dry air, but honestly, once it's only a little region, it's got to move out through this, and then it's perfect conditions here. So really, I think that's why I think Josephine has one last shot to prove itself. But let's animate this. As you see there, definitely seems like, what the heck? Okay, I thought something happened, but I was like, what? As you see, this kind of system that's going to possibly go around, we have this dry air. This dry air is really, look at the MDR. This MDR is really avoiding this dry air, and that's what we need to think about, the dry air. But all the dry air is to the north of the MDR, and these systems are expected to go straight west. So I think this dry air actually may or may not possibly, I think it maybe won't affect it really, honestly. But really, as you see, like, look, we have a huge clear out in the dry air all the way here. So I think dry air, it's obviously an issue. It really always is. But really, like, will it take it apart like it will with Josephine? That's the question here. I think these invests have a way better shot, these disturbances have a better shot than Josephine did with the dryer. So here's up now at the ocean heat content here. This is actually the amount of energy that's stored in the Atlantic here, or stored by water. So like really all that heat content, so warm waters, how much is stored. The more we get, the further this, the deeper this storage goes, the so-called held energy, the better likely for a storm to blow up. And that's why I'm saying this system right here, or this disturbance right here, could possibly become something big. And this, I think, if any storm has a shot of being big, I think it's or if any disturbance has a good shot of being big, I think it's this one right here, the one in front of the Africa one, because I think it's definitely gonna go through that really high heat ocean content, and that's gonna make it blow up. So that's just something to really keep in mind here. But obviously, we do have a good bit of heat content here, so that's a big threat for both, or that's a concern for both systems, or disturbances. But really monitoring that first one really closely, whether it could possibly maybe a concern for the Western Atlantic. Really always gotta watch out. Even if there's something that's gonna go this way, you still gotta watch out no matter what, just in case something really happens. So here's look now at the tropical intensity index. This is actually the what are the chances for our system to like really intensify in the waters. And as you see, we actually do have a very good favorable conditions here for the area right here. So I think that's a big concern for that disturbance that's in front of the one from Africa, the one in the central MDR, because it will have to go through here, and that is a big area of highly favorable conditions for it to intensify over these waters. Obviously, it will go through a little area if it does through the unfavorable conditions, but maybe, just maybe, according to the models, it could go out into the Gulf, and we have very warm waters. At that time, there could be some shear, but no dry air, very warm waters, and a lot of tropical intensity index, and it's very favorable. So that's why we're really watching this, because based on some models, this could very well go like this. That's basically what what Icon CMC were showing, and CMC has been one of the, in general, the most accurate models this year. So that is something you really need to keep in mind. So let's take a look at the models right now. Currently, as you see there, we got that disturbance right off the coast of Africa, and then we had that one right there. And see there, you see the blobs right there. Obviously, not even an invest yet, but look, as we get in the next 18 hours, 1,008 millibars, 1,009 millibars right there. And obviously, look right here, as you see that system off the coast, the northeast there. Look at this. Icon shows it possibly being 1,003 millibars within the next 9 hours. 1,003 millibars off the coast, and being 1,004 millibars, 1,003 once again the next 24 hours. So this could very well be named by the next 24 hours. So As you see, look at all these low pressure systems we have. Look at this. We have one area right here, one there, and maybe if Josephine can come back, one there. That's a lot of areas of potential development there. But look at that. As you see, 1,008 millibars, 1,009 millibars. So really watching that very closely. And as you see, there it is going possibly that first MDR storm or system is going to be hitting the lesser Antilles at 1,008 millibars. These systems will both be at 1,008 millibars, so it will be the race for Marco. Who will get named Marco first? As you see, this is going to really go now possibly between the Haiti area and between South America. So like I said, where I showed the heat index, it's going to go right there. And then we have the one off the coast of Africa right now, possibly going to be more of a northern track there. And as you see, look at that. This thing's going to possibly blow up where we have that very high stored heat potential. It's going to be at 1,003 millibars by possibly the point where it's August 21st, and then 1,006 millibars there for the Africa storm. So I think this could definitely be named Marco first, and then this will be Nana. So I think we're really watching this really closely here. And as you see, going to possibly, this one actually might hit maybe the lesser Antilles as well. But look at it's blowing up at 1,001 millibars between the areas of the Yucatan Peninsula right there, possibly heading straight for Puerto Rico. And then, boom, makes landfall over Puerto Rico at 999 millibars. And look at this. Look at the icon showing. Look at that, a 988 millibar storm there going into the Gulf. And this is the Eastern Gulf. This could be a big concern. If the icon happens, that will be a big concern. Because we have the warmest waters here in the Eastern Gulf, 32 degrees Celsius, very moist atmosphere. There is going to be a little shear, but if it's strong enough, this shear can really, this system can really block that shear out to the side. That's a big concern. Look at this storm, 998 millibars heading for the Bahamas, 988 millibars, and this is a new icon. And then it goes up to 982 millibars heading for possibly the Florida Panhandle. And then this is the 996 millibars possibly heading straight for Florida. So this is a big concern for Florida. We can have some big threats for Florida in the next coming days. This is August 24th. So this is what? This is around a week from now. So these could very well be named less than a week from now. And that's going to be big concerns for Florida. It really will be some big concerns for Florida, as this is going to be a very active time in the season here, or active time of the month. Let's go ahead and now check out another model here. Since I said a lot of the models are showing it, check out now the CMC, which has been overall very accurate. As you see, there's a low pressure, there's one there, and there's one there off the coast in the MDR. And then look at that, shows a storm possibly developing there off the coast of the Northeast. This is actually newer fresh. So we're going to be seeing the new 12Z. As you see, 1,006 millibars in the next 18 hours there, 1,008 millibars for that storm, the NDR. And then it goes up to 1,005 millibars in the next 24 hours. So even CMC shows it's possibly being named in the next 24 hours. And then we have obviously this one, and this one to really keep in mind. So we can have 3 named storms just like that. As you see, that one's going to possibly weaken, or not weaken, it's probably going to get taken by air and become drier, possibly become post-tropical. As you see, CMC is definitely showing that system going between Dominican Republic and South America, exactly what the icon shows. And then as you see, possibly going more towards Central America, it should be taking a northern turn there. And oh, look at that, possibly a Gulf system there as well on August 20th. So we got this, and then obviously that other storm happened. And what is this? What is this? That's something we need to keep in mind and ask. But let's go check out the latest one though, the 0Z. This actually one is basically exactly what the icon was showing. As you see, possibly going up into the Gulf there, and actually showing making landfall in Central America at 993 millibars and going through Central America. So that's obviously CMC is showing Laura happening, showing Marco happening, and it's showing the other system there behind it, which could possibly be Nana. Check out what the GFS shows. Obviously, the GFS also just loaded. As you see, the GFS shows it being at 1,007 millibars in the next 24 hours. 6 hours, and gets it to 1,004 millibars in the next 24 hours, or 18 hours, 1,004 millibars in the next 24 hours. And obviously we have this MDR disturbances there. And you see, the GFS tends to really underestimate storms, really. As you see, there it is, showing these storms right here. Every single global model shows actually almost the exact location, just not really exact strength. So that's something that's actually a very good sign there. And then as you see, GFS takes this to make landfall on Cancun at 7.5 millibars, and then possibly kind of just disappearing, I guess you can say that. But GFS shows those two storms, the one in the MDR, central MDR, and the one in the off the coast of Africa, both of those going into the Western Caribbean. So that's something to keep in mind there. Let's actually check out the moisture and actually the conditions here, whether it's favorable or not for these systems. As you see, there's that big blob there for the off the coast of Africa. There's that big blob there for that potential Laura. And then there's that blob of moisture for the other MDR system or a disturbance we have now. As you see, this is actually going to connect. This is actually going to connect one big moisture area in the MDR. They're going to keep at the dryer. So that's actually some big help that these storms will conjoin in moisture. But that first storm will actually have a better shot to survive because it kind of blasts off in front of the other storm, separating. And look at all this moisture coming off from South America and the Eastern Pacific. That's a big concern because that's going to really moisturize this whole area, Eastern Pacific, Central America, and Western Atlantic. And that's going to bring some big concerns. As you see, the GFS takes that towards the Gulf and possibly towards the Florida Panhandle. So as you see, dryer is not going to be a big threat whatsoever. And then GFS takes that other storm surviving. We'll have a little dryer behind it, but honestly, it should be coming back together. So that's also a very big concern that dryer may not affect these storms at all. And then let's check out the wind shear here. As you see, we have no wind shear basically for that system off the coast of Africa. Look at the MDR. We have basically no wind shear, the MDR, whatsoever. And then there's going to be a lot of shear off the northeast, which is why this could be post-tropical soon. But it will actually develop like a little bubble to actually block off that shear. But as you see, shear is not going to be an issue in the MDR anytime soon there. But as you see, look at that shear. Completely opens up. So honestly, shear won't become a threat until the system possibly goes into the Gulf. Really, I mean, if these storms move into the Gulf, though, as you see, they're gonna have no moisture around. There's gonna be no shear around these low pressure systems because it can really block off this high pressure. These high pressure is gonna really drag that shear to the north here. So gonna really make this area very favorable. So shear may not be a problem. Dryer may not be a problem. Warm water will be a problem. Warm waters will be there. So some concerns for this here. But yeah, let's go check out Josephine really quickly here. So I know I've been saying that Josephine has a shot to come back. This is it. This is the latest update. As you see, it is a drought depression. Actually, we have now models possibly taking it now back to tropical storm force extent in the next early 72 hours or 96 hours. So it's a time, it's going to be going through some rough conditions within that point from now on to that point in the next 3 days. But I think there's a possibility it could rise in strength as it goes in favorable conditions. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.